Hi, my name is April Love Bailey, and I participated in the Credit Management and Debt Resolution Program in Operation Hope. My credit was really bad after a divorce, and it was just something that I became aware of because in my marriage, my husband controlled the finances, and not in a blaming situation. I should have been aware of what was going on, and I wasn't. And then after the marriage fell apart, I realized that it was a worse situation than I expected, and I just had a lot of debt and a lot of bills that I couldn't pay. And then I came to Operation Hope and just learned a lot about repairing credit in ways that were easier than I expected, and they made a lot of changes. And one thing that I needed to do was repair my credit because it was limiting me from doing things. And through my marriage, one thing I had to do was I was able to sell a property and then pay off the majority of my debts, which was a great thing, but my credit was still damaged from that. So I was trying to dig myself out of that hole. And the thing that Operation Hope showed me was that there were steps I could take to repair it and improve it. And even one of the steps that we were doing in the program was looking at our credit reports and being able to dispute issues that can get taken off the credit report and begin to turn things around. And something that I did wrong that I didn't realize was wrong was when I was paying off a lot of my debts, I closed some of those credit cards, which I shouldn't have done. I didn't realize that if I closed them, I had no way to reestablish credit because I didn't have a credit card, and with such a bad credit score, no one was giving me a credit card. And as I was, when I was in the process of paying off my debts, I checked my credit score, and it was in about kind of the low sixes, which is not great. But after I paid off the majority of them, I checked it again, and it had actually gone down, so it was in the fives. So that kind of sent me into panic mode. And it was about that time when I heard about Operation Hope, and I knew I really needed to do something to help just get me in a position where I could just be more stable and secure, because you kind of just feel helpless and a little hopeless when, nobody wants to, you're viewed as a credit risk. I heard about Operation Hope from a woman at my job at the time, and she happened to come in and just tell a group of us that she had come to one of the Operation Hope meetings and was sharing her story of success in rebuilding her credit and pushing her credit score. I think it was up over 700. And one of my coworkers said, well, how do I do that? So I think 3 of us ended up coming to Operation Hope with the same expectations, really trying to improve ourselves and improve our situation. There were things that I was unaware of. Number one, I didn't realize that credit cards, it seems so simple, that credit cards help establish credit for you. I mean, using them. If you use them, the credit cards, and if you close them, it damages your credit or can damage your credit. But even just something as simple as using it for gas or groceries, it helps establish a history of credit that makes you less of a security risk, apparently. And one of the things I learned in the program was that they had a few examples. They had 2 people, a person with poor credit and a person with really good credit. And they did an example of those 2 people in a home buying situation and those 2 people in a car buying situation. And the ones with poor credit were paying tens of thousands of dollars more for their home and thousands of dollars more for the same car just because of their poor credit. And I didn't want to be that person. I was in a place where I almost didn't get an apartment because my credit was so bad, but I had fortunately just gotten a job, and that helped me. And one of the things Operation Hope showed me was to start taking the steps to get some credit somehow, establish credit, and then use it. So I went through my bank to try to get a secured credit card, and one of the personal bankers told me, let's try to go for a rewards card. Let's try to not do a secured unless you have to. So I was able to get a rewards card through my bank, and I started using it, just doing a few charges a month on gas or a little bit of groceries, and then paying that off every month. And then I also was able to, I had to get a new car because my car died, and I financed some of the payments for that at no interest, and that helped, those few payments helped establish more credit. And I also took advantage of like Black Friday prices to get a washer and dryer that I needed, and I financed that over a year with no interest, and am paying that off now, and that's establishing credit. And my counselor, only about 6 months out of the Operation Hope program, I spoke with my counselor, and even by the end of the program, my credit was improving. But 6 months later, she just told me, actually 2 days ago, that my credit has jumped up 50 points since the end of the program. So that about blew my mind. I was glad that the steps I've been taking are paying off. So that's such a blessing. I think my life is different now because I'm more informed and continuing to be more informed. And Operation Hope showed me that it is important to know not only your credit score, but where your rating is and kind of where your money goes, what's coming in, what's going out. Sometimes you don't even realize how much you're spending on a certain thing until you look at your bills, and it can be shocking. One of the things that we did in the class was our counselor, Gail, asked us to make something called a vision board. And it was such a funny process because a vision board is basically to help you say what it is you want for your future. It helps you to dream and hope for the future. And I just wasn't doing that, which seems weird, but I wasn't. And we had to put together things that are important to us now, things that might be important to us in the future, and just kind of put it in a collage on a piece of paper. And that was such a monumental step for me with Operation Hope, because it's something that does build hope in a person, and I didn't have that, and I didn't even realize I didn't have that. So to make that vision board, which is on my refrigerator right now, it helps me to just, it makes me smile every time I see it, and see the good things that are in my life now and what I hope to be in my life in the future. And I think that I'm definitely on the right track for it, and I'm kind of aware of some things because a lot of times when your credit is messed up, you have to get into situations that are going to cost you more money to try to rebuild it. And I didn't want to do that because I was already in a situation where I'd lost so much money or spent so much money or wasted so much money. So the program really helped me be informed and sort of stay informed. I already have recommended the program to other people because the steps aren't that huge. They don't seem that difficult, but they're important and they are very powerful. They make a difference. And one other thing through this process, our credit report is pulled and we're taught how to do that. And as I was looking through one of my statements, which isn't fun because to me it's a tiny bit boring, but it's important. I was looking through one of my statements and I found a fraudulent charge. And I was able to contact my bank and get that resolved and get the money put back in my account. And I would have never found that without having to, do the steps that I learned through Operation Hope. So I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, it's a program that is helpful, is beneficial, and I'm on the right track now, which is something I didn't expect to say 6 months out of the program, but I'm blessed and thankful to God that I am able to say that. I would recommend Operation Hope for all that I've learned, that all the ways that it's helped me, and I know it can help other people in very simple ways, in steps that are easy to learn, and it's worth it. Thank you, Operation Hope. I appreciate all that you've done for me.